Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is online lecture number 3 of this semester and my notes lecture number 6. Okay, in this lecture, we will going to cover Article 2.5, which is canonical and standard forms, or they are also called min terms and max terms. So, first, some definitions or theoretical part is written here. What is a min term? A binary variable may appear either in its normal form x or in its complement form x bar. So a binary variable can either be x in its normal form or its complement form x bar. Now consider two binary variables. Now I'm saying that consider two binary variables x and y combined with an AND operation. So if x and y are combined with AND operation, there are four possibilities. Which are those four possibilities? These are the four possibilities. Each variable may appear in its either form. There are four possible combination: x bar, y bar, x bar y bar, or x bar y, or xy bar, or xy. These are the four possible combinations of two variables combined with the AND term. Now, each of these four AND terms represent one of the distinct areas in the following Venn diagram and is called a minterm or a standard product. uh, One thing that x and y are appearing to be like multiply product, so we can say each of these terms is a product term. So also he's saying that each of these four terms basically, either each of these four combinations, they represent a distinct area in this Venn diagram. Now what is this Venn diagram? You can see that there is, let's say, this circle represents x and this circle represents y. Now if you see that the combined region, the common region between that is x and y, because in this region, there is both x and y represent circles represented. So this circle will be called xy or x and y, xy. And in this region, let's say this region, in this region, X circle is available, but Y circle is not available because Y circles appears towards the right of this shaded area. So this region will be called X Y bar, X but not Y, or X Y bar. Similarly, to the right side, this region, this region represents circle Y but not X. So this region will be called X bar Y. And again the last region, this region, the outside rectangle outside these two circles will be x bar y bar, because this region neither represents circle x or neither nor represents is the circle y. So this region will be called x bar or y bar, not x and not y. So this is a Venn diagram representation of these four regions. So one more thing written here, that n variables can be combined to form 2 raised to power n minterms. For n is equal to 3, we have 2 raised to power 3, 8 minterms. So we have seen that if there are two variables, x and y, we have 4 minterms, that is 2 raised to power 2, 4 minterms. If there are three variables, or in general, if we have n variables, then we have 2 raised to power n minterms. For n is equal to 3, we will have 2 raised to power 3, 8 minterms. Okay, now going to max terms. What is the max terms? In a similar fashion, n variables forming a odd term, each variable being primed or unprimed, provide 2 raised to power n possible combinations called max terms. Just like the previous min terms definition, where two x variables x and y were combined with n terms, similarly, two variables x and y can be combined with odd terms like x plus y bar, x bar plus y, or x bar plus y bar. So these four combinations will be called max terms or standard sums. Okay. Now the following table on the next page shows the minterms and maxterm for the three binary variables. Note that each maxterm is the complement of corresponding minterm and vice versa. Now going to the next page, this is basically the three variables. Table 2.3, minterms and maxterms of three binary variables. So first of all, you have seen here three variables x, y, and z, x, y, and z, and there are eight possible combination of x, y, and z. And I already told you that how to write the four combinations. These are 0, 0, 0, binary 0, binary 1, binary 2, binary 3, binary 4, binary 5, binary 6, and binary 7. And you can also write it like four zeros here and then four ones, and you can all then write under y 00 and 11, then 00 and 11, and in the third variable you can write 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 up to eight combinations. Okay, now these eight combinations or eight three variables have eight combinations. What are the minterms of these three variables and what are the maxterm of these three variables? The minterms of these variables are like x, y, z are three variables, and the minterm represented here is x bar, y bar, z bar, because 0 is represented by a prime and 1 is represented by a non-prime variable. So x, y, and z, all three are zeros. So we will write it at x bar, y bar, z bar. On the next combination, x is 0, y is 0, and z is 1. So we will write x bar, y bar, z. Because z is 1, so we will write z without complement, and x and y are 0. So we will write x bar and y bar. So in the next combination, y is 1, x is 0, and z is 0. So we will write x bar, y without complement, y without complement, and x and z will with complement. So x bar, y, z bar. So in next combination, x is 0, y is 1, z is 1. So x will be x bar and y and z will be without complement. So we will write x bar, y, z. Okay, similarly in the next combination, in this combination we will write x, y bar, z bar, and in the next combination x, y bar, z, and in the next combination x, y, z bar, and last all three are ones, so x, y, and z. So these are the minterms of three variables. Now, what are the maxterms? Maxterm are simply the complement of each minterm. What is the complement of this minterm? I told you in last lecture how to find the complement of a term. Basically, we convert each AND gate into OR gate or each OR gate into AND gate, and we complement each literal. So x bar, y bar, z bar, these are combined with AND gate. So we will convert their AND gate into OR gate. So x plus y plus z, and we will complement each literal. So complementing each literal means that if there is a literal with a complement, you remove its complement, and if there is no complement, then you add a complement. So x bar, y bar, z bar will become x plus y plus z. Similarly, all other minterms will be complement of each corresponding all maxterm will be complement of each corresponding minterm. So just like you can see here, xyz, we will convert it into OR gate. X bar plus y bar z bar. Basically, we are converting each AND gate into OR gate, and we are complementing each literal. So x will become x bar, y will become y bar, z will become z bar, and their AND gate will convert into OR gate. Can take one more example like this one. X y bar z bar. So this will become x bar plus y plus z. Each literal is prime. Basically, x will become x bar and y bar z bar will become y and z, and AND gate will be converted into OR gate. So these are the minterms and maxterms. And one other thing, that minterms are denoted by the symbols small m naught to small m7. The first minterm is denoted by m naught, and second minterm by m1, f2, last minterm by m7, and the maxterms are denoted by capital M naught to m7. So these are their designation or symbols. Okay, now a Boolean function may be expressed algebraically from a given truth table by forming a minterm for each combination of variable that produces a 1 in the function. For example, okay, now he's taking an example of two functions. Let's say this is a function f1 is equal to x bar y bar z plus x y bar z bar plus x y z. So basically, he's saying that you can make a table. Let's say x, y. We have made a table x, y, and z. There are eight combination from 0 to 7, and then he can say you can write function f1. Where is this function equal to 1? This function is equal to 1 when x is equal x bar, y bar, z bar mean when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, z is equal to 1. Here this function is equal to 1. Then this function is equal to 1 when x is equal to 1, y is equal to 0, z is equal to 0. So when x is equal to 1, y is equal to 0, and z is equal to 0, this function is 1. Then this function is 1, x, y, and z means when all three x, y, and z are 1, this function is equal to 1. So he's saying that if you make a table and then you basically write the minterms which are coming from one of the tables. Let's say this function is 1 for this minterm, and this function is 1 for this minterm, and this function is 1 for this minterm. You can say now you can write from this table. From this table, this minterm is called m1. This minterm is called m1. So you can write m1 here. And then this minterm 100, 100. This minterm is m4. You can write m4 here. And third minterm, this minterm, you can see in this table, this minterm is m7. So you can write m7 here. So the given function, the given function can be written as m1 plus m4 plus m7. This function can be written as m1 plus m4 plus m7. Similarly, he has taken another example of f2 and doing same thing with f2. Let's say this function f2 has four terms, and this function is 1 when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1, and z is equal to 1. X is equal to 0, y is equal to 1, z is equal to 1. This function is 1 here. Then x is equal to 1, y is equal to 0, z is equal to 1 here. Then x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1, z is equal to 0, this term. And then x, y, z, last term, x, y, z here. So f2 is 1 in these four minterms. So these four minterms are m3, m5, m6, and m7. So you can write f2 as m3 plus m5 plus m6 plus m7. Okay, now going to the next page. Now, now consider the complement of Boolean function f1. It may be read from the truth table by forming a minterm for each combination that produces a 0 in the function and then ORing those terms. Then f1 is equal to this. Okay, now going back to this table, basically he's saying that if we make a table of function, let's say f1, and we read what is where is the function 1 in each term, minterm, so that will give you the equation of f1. Another way is that if you read from this table that where is this function is 0, where is this function this function is 0 in the first minterm, in the third and fourth minterm, and this uh, fifth and sixth minterm, sixth and seventh minterm. So this, if you read these minterms where this function is 0, and you write a similar minterm just like you have written here, similar minterms here, so in that case you will get the complement of the function. So complement of the function is obtained by reading from the table the corresponding minterms where the function is 0. So you can see here the first 0 is x bar, y bar, z bar, x bar, y bar, z bar. And the second 0, this 0 is x bar, y, z bar, x bar, y, z bar. And the third 0 is this one, x bar, y, z, x bar, y, z. And the fourth 0 is this one, x, y bar, z, x, y bar, z. And the last 0 is x, y, z bar, x, y, z bar. Okay. Now this function which we have obtained by reading the zeros from the table will be f1 bar, because these minterms represent the zeros of the function. So that will be equal to f1 bar. So if we read the ones of the table, that will give you function f1. And if you read zeros of the table, you will get f1 bar. Now one thing we can do is take the complement of this equation. This is f1 bar. If we take the complement of f1 bar, so complement of f1 bar, we will obtain f1, because complement of a complemented function will give you f1. F1 complement will give you f1. And if you take the complement of right hand side, what will happen on the right hand side? On the right hand side, each term will each AND gate will convert into OR gate, each OR gate will be converted into AND gate, and each literal will be primed. So this term will become x plus y plus z, AND gate converting into OR gate. Then this OR gate will convert into AND gate, and this term will become x plus y bar plus z. And similarly, all other terms, x plus y bar plus z bar, and x plus x bar plus y plus z bar, and this will become x bar plus y plus x bar plus y bar plus z. So then we can write these things as max terms. And going back to this table, what is x plus y plus z in from the table? From this table, x plus y is m naught. So we can write m naught here, we can write m naught here. Then this term is equal to m2, capital M2, we can write capital M2 here. This third term is equal to m3, we can write m3 here. This fourth term is equal to m5, you can write m5 here. And this last term is equal to m6, we can write m6 here. You can read these terms like here, this is m3, this is m6, and this is m7, m6. Like each max term you can read here from this table. So this is the method of forming min terms and max terms. So now by the end of lecture, there is an example 2.4 that is of sum of min terms, and there is an example of the book of product of max terms. These two examples we will do directly from the book. I have not written these two examples on this lecture, because we can do it directly from the book. So now I am sharing the book pages here. So this is example 2.4. So what is this example? Express the Boolean function f is equal to a plus b bar c in sum of minterms. Okay, now he's solving directly here. Now first he's saying the function has three variables a, b, and c. The first term is a. The first term is a. A is missing two variables, because this term has a, but it does not have b or c. And if you see the table, if you see this table, each term has all three variables. Each term should have all three variables. Then you can form a minterm. So if a term has only a and does not have b and c, then it is not a complete minterm. So how we can deal with this situation? We will deal with this situation like that. We can add two terms b and c here. Like we can multiply a with 1. You can multiply a with 1 means you can write a as a dot 1, and then 1 can be written as b plus b bar, because a dot 1 is a, and 1 is equal to b plus b bar. So in this form we can write a as a into b plus b bar, and we can multiply these two, ab plus ab bar. So a becomes ab plus ab bar. So this term is still equal to a. Now this term has b, a and b, but this is still missing one variable. It does not have c. So we can add now c here. We can multiply this with c plus c bar, and we can multiply this term with c plus c bar. So ab into c plus c bar, ab bar into c plus c bar, and multiplying abc plus abc bar plus ab bar c plus ab bar c bar. This becomes a becomes these four terms. So now a becomes these four terms, and all these four terms has a, b, and c. So we instead of a, we will use these four terms instead of a, because each of these terms are having all three variables. So for writing minterm, we need all three variables. Okay, now the second term, b bar c. This term has b and c, but it does not have a. So what we'll do, we will multiply it with a plus a bar, and multiply it, it will become a b bar c, a bar b bar c. Now what will we will do here? Combining all terms. Now we will combine these four terms and these two terms. It will become like this. Then it is saying that a b bar c appeared twice. A b bar c here, and a b bar c here. It is coming twice, and there is a Boolean postulate that x plus x is equal to x. If x plus x is equal to x, then a b bar c plus a b bar c is equal to a b bar c. We can write it only once. So the function becomes this. Writing it only once, so the function becomes this. Now you can read each of these terms from the given table, from this table, which is also present in lectures. This table here, you can read the min terms from this table and which term represents which min term. So a bar b bar c is equal to 0, 0, 1. First min term m1. This is 1, 0, 0, fourth m4. This is 1, 0, 1, fifth m5. This is 1, 1, 0 m6, and this is 1, 1, 1 m7. So you can write it as m1 plus m4 plus m5 plus m6 plus m7, and this can also be written in this form, like fabc is equal to, do not write m here. In form of sigma, you can write only the subscripts 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have converted the given function a f is equal to a plus b bar c into sum of minterms like this. F a b c, f as a function of a b c is equal to sigma sum 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, sum of first, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh minterm. So example 2.5, another example of maxterms. Express the Boolean function f is equal to xy plus x bar z in product of maxterms. And okay, this is the given function. We have to convert it in the product of maxterms. So first he's saying that first convert the function into odd terms using distributive law. There is a distributive law, which basically distributive law has x plus yz is equal to x plus y into x plus z. So if we consider this as x and this as yz, so we can write x plus y and x plus z. So we can write xy plus x bar. X, basically we are converting, we are reading this at x plus yz. The first term is x, this is y, this is z. So x plus y, x plus z. So xy plus x bar, xy plus z. And then again we can further implement the same formula, x y plus z, x bar plus x, x bar plus y, and then again applying the same formula on this, z plus x, z plus y. So this will become x plus x bar will become 1, and 1 dot x is equal to x. So this one x plus x bar will vanish, and other three terms will come here, this here. Now there is another problem here, that each of these terms, basically these three terms, this term has x and y, but it does not have z. The second term has x and z, it does not have y. The third term has y and z, but it does not have x. So in the similar fashion like previous example, we will add the missing variable into this, like x bar plus y, x bar plus y. We will add zz bar into it. Why? Because we zz bar is equal to 0, and if we add 0 into any Boolean function, it is still the same function. Zz bar is equal to 0 and x plus 0 is equal to x. So we can add zz bar into this. So if we add zz bar, then we will apply the formula of x plus yz. This is we consider as x, and this is y, and this is z. So we will write x bar plus y plus z, and x bar plus y plus z bar. So this will be considered as x, and this is considered as yz. So we will apply the formula is equal to x plus y, x plus z, x plus y, and x plus z. In a similar fashion, x plus z, we will add y bar and apply the same formula x plus y, x plus z plus y, and x plus z plus y bar. It will become this. And in a similar fashion, we will add y plus z, we will add xx bar here, the missing variable, and apply the same formula. It will become here. Now combining all these terms and removing those terms which are appearing more than once, you can see that x bar plus y plus z is coming twice. It is coming twice. X bar plus yz here, x bar plus yz here, and x plus yz here, and x plus yz here. So the term which is coming at twice, we will write it out only once. So combining all the terms and removing the double terms and writing it only once, you will get this function x plus y plus z, x plus y bar plus z, x bar plus yz, and x bar plus y plus z bar. Now coming to this table, you will read the maxterm from this table and write the maxterm symbol of this table. These are the symbols. X plus yz x plus y plus z is denoted by the symbol m naught. So reading these terms here, so it- here the first term is m naught, the second term is m2, m2, the third term is m4, and the fifth term is m5. So we have written m naught into m2 into m4 into m5, and you can also write it as f into xyz, f as a function of xyz. This is a symbol of pi, and you can write only the subscripts here 2 4 5 0 2 4 5 pi into bracket 0 2 4 5. So this function is written in the product of maxterms as f as a function of xyz pi 0245. So these were the two examples of sum of minterms and product of maxterms. What you can do here is go to the end problems. These are the end problems. Here you can see the problem 2.12, access the following as sum of minterms. And then there is another problem, convert the following expression into sum of products or product of sums. So sum of minterms can also be said as sum of products, and product of maxterms can also be called product of sums. So these are the related problems and problems which we will do in class, and you can do yourself, and we can further elaborate these lectures or these methodologies in our online lecture. So till then, Allah Hafiz.